because you're pretty. I mean, again, because I would imagine that you have, so I'm just curious.
Well, I will tell you this. Well, first of all, why are you making me talk about this? But that's okay. I understand it.
Because it's entertaining. Because okay, so that's a good question. Well, I'm going to answer it, though. I'm going to answer it.
I really, really am. All right.
Well, I'm going to answer that question because
okay.
when people think about being authentic, right? When you talk about who you really are and what matters to you and what excites you, there's a truthfulness to that. And how you express yourself, there's a truthfulness to that. Other people sometimes are going to get stopped because of what you look like, I think, and have a kind of a distortion of you. And so because of that, when you're talking about looking at truth and you're talking about authenticity and how that's not only delivered but received, my personal opinion, the reason I'm asking this question, is that I would think that some people, they can't see the forest for the trees, so to speak. And that's the reason I'm asking it. Because I've seen it happen with other people, and I'm guessing that it's happened with you too.
Well, here's my answer.
Okay.
As a child, I grew up in a really, really rough neighborhood. And because I was small, I'm only 5'1" now, but as a kid I was really small, and I was very quiet. And it wasn't that I was shy, but I was introverted. And so kids like that are often bullied. And kids like that often become loners. So let's just say that having experienced that kind of behavior, bully behavior, or and having to be okay with being a loner and not be accepted, that has served me well in my career. Is that an okay answer? I know you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I do know what you're saying. I mean, and
yeah, I mean, because the answer is yes. The answer is yes. You know, the answer is absolutely yes. That has been part of my experience, but I decided, I'll tell you exactly when I decided 4 years ago to completely ignore it, that it wasn't going to affect me, that it's something that I reject. It's something I reject. And the other piece is this, Andrew. For me, I really understand that it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Because I know there is such a spiritual stamp on my work, and there is such a calling on my work, not only the books I write, but the work that I do with people spiritually. There's such a calling on it that the people who really need to be at my classes or be in a reading with me or be at a book signing where I'm going to be, they're going to be there. And I just don't have room in my life to mess around with people's opinions of me. I just don't have the stomach for it either. You know, I did all that when I was a kid. I'm done with it. So I truly don't care. And it doesn't bother me. It really doesn't bother me. The other piece, my final piece would be, I also understand that we are all evolving, and somebody's behavior right now is a reflection of where they're at spiritually, mentally, and emotionally in their personal evolution. So that's it. It's really as simple as that, you know, so I can't be offended. I'm not going to overanalyze stuff. I'm not going to let it slow me down, because that's not an option. You know, I'm on a mission here with my work. I love it. I know this is my purpose, and, you know, nobody's going to derail me. So that's kind of my perspective. But I decided 4 years ago that would be my perspective, and I wouldn't waver from it. So.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I have my own kind of take on this, because when I was young, I mean, I had 2 different incarnations as a professional psychic in my 30s and in my 50s, right? And when I was in my 30s, you know, I got a lot of similar kind of thing, in that people didn't take me seriously, and they would, when I was on television, they said, "Oh, it's not because you're a psychic, it's because, you know, they thought, you know, what you look like, and it has nothing to do with you," and, you know, and so, that these people want you, as a boy, and they don't care about you as a psychic. And so I had to listen to that for years and years and years. And it's one of the reasons that I said, I don't want to keep doing it, because it seemed like I couldn't. I know it sounds like a weird thing to say, but it's part of my history in that there was a certain perception that went along with it. Well, I don't have that perception now, but I had it, 30 years ago. And I'm going to bring Zita into this too. And Zita, do we need to take a break?
Yeah,
I always get lost in that.
Yeah, we have to take a break, but we actually have a couple questions. So when we get back from break, we'll ask a couple questions and then kind of go into that. How's that sound?
Awesome.
So we're I'm sorry, go ahead.
I just said great. Awesome.
We're going to take a short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with Zita, JoLynne, and me. We will see you in just a few minutes, and we will take questions. And Zita, if people want to call in, you want to give them the number?
They can call in. The number is 651-447-6309. I almost gave my office number. I forgot where I was for a second. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Stay tuned for more from Andrew Brewer and his guest right after these messages. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Would you like to get in on something that's ground floor right now, but has the potential to be the biggest thing of its kind in the world? You can do it right now by hosting your own show or sponsoring one of your favorite shows at the Hazy Radio Network. All you have to do is send us an email to admin@hazyradionetwork.com. We'll get back to you with all the details about sponsoring one of our fine shows that we already have, or you can do a show yourself. If you've always had that inner disc jockey in yourself and thought you'd be really good at it, this is a good way to find out. So join us right here on the fastest growing, fastest paced, bestest internet radio network, the Hazy Radio Network. Remember, that's admin@hazyradionetwork.com.
Ooh, babies, you got a restless soul and don't know where to go? Well, babies, tune in the middle of the night, I mean midnight, right here on the Hazy Radio Network for the Coyote Medicine Show. Enlighten, rock, and talk that'll just drive you right to the edge and bring you back again, bring you right back into your heart. The Coyote Medicine Show, midnights, only on the Hazy Radio Network.
Please join us every Thursday night at 10 p.m. Eastern for Dear Emmy with Elizabeth Rose on the Hazy Radio Network.
Imagine no longer being tied down to your computer, but having the freedom to take live talk radio with you anywhere you go. TalkStream Live introduces our first ever iPhone application. The talk shows you follow now follow you. And your iPhone is now the fastest and easiest way to stay connected to the best talk radio on the internet. Let TalkStream Live transform the way you listen to radio. Listen to live talk shows 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Mobile talk radio from TalkStream Live. Now available in the iTunes App Store.
Welcome back to the Rock and Roll Psychic Radio Show with your host, Andrew Brewer.
Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for sticking around. Again, this is Andy Brewer with Rock and Roll Psychic Radio here on the Hazy Radio Network. My co-host, Zita Haas, and our special guest, the ParaGoddess, JoLynneValerie. And JoLynne, before we get too far into the show, if I wanted to find out more about you, or I wanted to order your books, or now that I've said all this, see your picture, or I just wanted to know more about who you are, what's the best way to do that? Is there a website or something that we can direct people to?
There is, actually, yes. And this is kind of a surprise announcement that I was looking forward to dropping tonight. And I kind of alluded to it earlier, but I have a brand new website. It's ParaGoddess.com, and everything is on there. Everything. All my books, videos, book trailers, the link to book a reading to find out more about my readings and the kind of readings that I do, some YouTube videos that they can watch, interviews and stuff like that, videos of me doing readings, and also a sort of in-depth biography, a little glimpse into not only the work that I do, but my childhood and my early adult years. I've done a lot of writing on the site. So ParaGoddess.com, I'm very excited.
That's fantastic. And do you have any events or anything coming up in the near future that you want to talk about?
I do. Actually, I have. I'm actually leaving for a pretty big book conference tomorrow. It's called Authors After Dark. It's a traveling conference. Every year they're in a different location, but this year they're going to be in Charlotte, North Carolina, and it's a big deal. There are over 100 authors going to be there and about 350 readers. And I'm hosting a supernatural soiree, 3 of my own events. So I'm just super excited about that. Can't wait to get to Charlotte. I've never been there, but I'm looking forward to that. So I'll be there all weekend.
Charlotte's a really nice city. I like Charlotte. The thing I remember about Charlotte is how weird things stick in your mind. Because I used to fly through Charlotte a lot. And Charlotte's airport has these giant white rocking chairs everywhere. I hope they still have those. Charlotte was always one of my favorite airports. When I was in my corporate universe, I had to fly pretty much every week. And I spent a lot of time, bebopping from the south to New York and around and about. But so I went through Charlotte. Charlotte was a hub for somebody. I forget United or I forget who it was a hub for. But somehow I went through Charlotte all the time. And a very nice city, very clean city, a lot of banks there. It's kind of a nice, prosperous city. But they have an amazing airport, at least they used to. So that's fantastic. I love the idea of having a soiree. We used to have psychic soirees as well, and that's what we would call them. We have little parties. And we'd have, appetizers, and, it was kind of fun. So I can only imagine. And so
it's going to be fantastic. It's great.
So what days is the conference going to be?
Well, the conference is a paranormal romance and romance conference. So there's going to be tons and tons of authors, and, they're all going to be signing their books and, repping their own careers. But it's a cool conference because there's lots of parties and lots of breakout events with different authors. So there's tons and tons of stuff for people to do. My soiree, I'm just stoked about. The first event is, my first event during this soiree is going to be Intuitive Angel Readings gallery style, which I don't know if you've ever done gallery readings, but that's crazy. That can be a little crazy, but I like it. I love doing them. So I'm very excited about that because it's a wild card experience. You never know what the heck is going to happen or what's going to come up. Who's going to show up for it? Like in spirit form. So that's kind of interesting, and I can't wait for that. And the second event is I'm teaching my Intuition on Fire workshop, which is kind of like a very hardcore, fast-paced intuitive development workshop. And I love doing that, so that's great. And we're doing that with cocktails, so that's going to be fun. And
this starts tomorrow?
Yeah, it starts tomorrow. Oh, no, actually, I'm traveling tomorrow. It starts on Wednesday. It starts Wednesday.
Okay,
and
so Wednesday to when?
Final event.
Because I want people to know, because 6th to 9th, all right. So it goes through Saturday? All right. So if you're in North Carolina or someplace close, you have to go to this. And that's going to be on your website, right? Okay.
We actually have a
caller. Doesn't it sound like fun?
It does. We actually have a caller.
Don't you want to go? Truly, don't you want to just hop on a plane and go, hi, we're in Charlotte.
Absolutely.
And I want to have psychic reading and a cocktail. I want to talk to my angels.
Absolutely.